Also with the Yaziger, they actually expanded it. They have a new one called. It started off as the Mark III and then the Mark IV, which is basically the same implementation as this, except it's their own. It's their own. The guys from Hack5, Darren and Robin, came up with the newer device, which has a better chipset for the wireless, and it's pretty decent for most of the stuff that you can do. So what you can do with it, it's based on the OpenWRT, same stuff that I have on the TP-Link. There's a shit ton of packages that you can install on it, ranging from Kismet to Nmap. It basically simulates any of the Wi-Fi networks around you. So if you just drop this in the middle of a public area, you're guaranteed to get data from someone. Man-in-the-middle attacks, you can basically you can redirect people. You can send them to upside down net. You can rickroll them for every site they go to. You can change all their images on every web page they go to cats, whatever you want to do. There's a shit ton of stuff that you can do with it. You can do evil upgrade attacks, and what those are is basically there's I don't know if there's a package out there. It's evil grade or something like that, which basically it says hey, your Java needs to update. Would you like to update? And when it does, it's pulling down like a Metasploit package and installing that. Or if your Windows update says, oh, we got an update, and it's actually installing viruses or backdoors, whatever, to their computer. It just says, hey, I'm this update, or hey, I'm Flash update, update me. And again, that's a way to get onto a system. Instead of just sniffing the traffic, getting their passwords, you can also take control of their machine. If they're not paying attention to it, and they're one to click that stuff just so it goes away. There's a bunch of different things you can do. You can also do like Java applet attacks, which basically it will just spit out a Java applet on any web page they're on, and it won't go away until they say okay. It just keeps on popping up, and finally somebody's just going to say, okay, fuck it, I want to get on Gmail or anything else, and that just downloads like a Metasploit backdoor or a reverse shell, whatever that you want to get onto the system. The possibilities are endless. It's not just to sniff stuff or jack stuff. It's you can also get into the machines if they're not paying attention, or the machine's not locked down, or they don't have any type of protection on there. And depending on what type of backdoor or whatever that you put on the system, it'll probably go undetected for at least a little while. Again, sniffing, you can basically see anybody's password coming over plain text with FTP. There's the SMTP, SSL. I think you could do it if you were doing the sidejacking stuff. I know you can get their connection.
Yeah, if you can do, I don't know if this supports SSL strip.
Yeah, I think with SSL, I think it does on the newer version. I got the older version loaded on there. I just haven't updated it in a while.
So if you can SSL strip, it knocks them down to HTTP, and then you can sniff whatever it's not encrypted.
Oh yeah, and you can actually fork that too, because I mean you're doing most of the stuff with your laptop anyhow. So if you have a SSL strip on your laptop, you can actually control a lot of that stuff anyhow. So again, wireless cracking, you can put Kismet on there or whatever. And it also works with Backtrack and Social Engineer Toolkit. So if you have that on your machine, it's definitely good to go. The last of the hardware stuff I have is something that Bill had got me for my birthday. This one's it's a better keylogger. It's a hardware keylogger, which I don't know about anybody here, but if I'm working on my computer, I'm not going to climb behind my computer to look every day to see if there's something attached to my keyboard. And so the good thing about this one, it also has a wireless access built in, so you can actually preset it to connect to whatever wireless is in the area. So if you crack that wireless and then you go in here and throw that on there, you have the ability to email all the logs to yourself from that network. And if you're on the network itself, you can log into it with the software that they have, and you can actually pull the logs from the network. The great thing about this too, there's nothing detecting it unless somebody actually physically detects it. There's no way for an antivirus to detect it. I I think it may put something in the registry for Windows. There may be something left behind, or it may come up as something in the registry which may be detected. But again, there's a bunch of different companies that build these, so you're not really going to catch all of them. I don't know if it has the ability. I don't think they have the ability to change whatever loads into the registry. I know when I was doing some research, it did say that certain strings were left in the registry for it, so you can detect it. But yeah, I mean, there's not going to be any normal person that's going to be like, oh, let me look in the registry and see, yeah, I mean, you could.
And the stuff it puts in the registry, it's not going to be like keylogger.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be like Oki Data Corporation, USB device or whatever. Yeah, because basically these are almost akin to like a USB hub. So when you're plugging it in, it's actually, you're plugging in the keyboard behind it as a hub, and it's basically plugging both in at the same time. What was that? No, it shouldn't. Nothing really. Yeah, it just shows up in the device manager. I think it does. No, I don't think it does.
What if you lock down the device, only approved devices?
Yeah, I mean, you can look for certain strings that say like, if this, don't allow it or whatever. But
again, that thing's probably going to come up as a keyboard.
yeah. And again, like I know with the Teensy device, the Teensy you can actually program whatever it says in the registry. You can eliminate that issue. These being closed source and commercial stuff, I'm not too sure. I actually just emailed the company questioning some stuff. They haven't got back to me yet, but again, for those devices, they're nice because it's small. Nobody's really going to find it. So it's as quick as unplugging their keyboard, plugging it back in right behind it, and then if you're not going back to the location, they have Wi-Fi. It's emailing the stuff to you on a daily basis. Depending on, you can set the log limit to like 10K. You can have it send you an interval, so every 6 hours it sends you the log. There's a bunch of different things you could do. And then you would know if it's not sending you stuff, something's wrong. Either somebody found it. Very rarely if their network goes down. But it's got internal storage. I think this one has 256K. They're bigger devices. They have up to 2 gigs. So if it was something that you want to leave somewhere for a long period of time, you'll have 2 gigs of space to really put all the log stuff. This is actually me testing it. Basically, what I did is I set it up to connect to our Wi-Fi here, and then I had it just basically I think it was every few minutes or something, send me a log. So it was basically me just jamming on the keyboard for a little bit, and then just having it send out. It worked pretty well. Again, if you're sending it to like Gmail or whatever, you don't want to have it do all the time. Yeah, I was putting random stuff on there, cock and balls, everything else. But yeah, you don't want to have it going every minute sending you a log, because Gmail's gonna blacklist it, and you're not gonna get shit from there unless you can get it to unblacklist it. KeyDemon.net is, and there's also Keylog, KELOG. I mean, you can, or you can, if you're a domain administrator, if you're looking for that going out or somebody connecting, but you can also put your own custom SMTP server. So again, I just set it for the default, and that's what the default goes to, but I can actually send it through my Gmail account and have that send through. So it's not really anything you can block. If somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they're going to leave it as default. But there's not much you can do for that stuff. So that's it for like the hardware stuff. The only stuff I was going to go over, I didn't really have much time to write up stuff on it. If you got an Android phone, you're familiar with they have a bunch of different programs that you can get. One of them being FaceNIF, which is a side tracking program. It has the ability to. The author was afraid to have it pulled from the market or being a bad utility, so he limited it to Amazon, Facebook, and Twitter, where if I was on the same network as any of you guys and you're logged into Facebook, I could basically take over your account, not knowing your password. It's just basically I'm just stealing your session, and I could do anything you were doing as your logged on session. We were talking about it a while ago. You do stuff like download someone's picture on Facebook, fat booth it and put it back up on their computer, or change their status to anything. There's a couple tools like that. There's a tool called Anti, which is kind of like he's growing it to be like just an exploit framework, where if I was on the network, I could basically scan the whole network, and I can actually spit out exploits. The only problem with that, he has like a pay system where you actually have to, if you want to pay for certain exploits, you would have to buy tokens or whatever. And so I didn't really dive into it too much because I didn't want to pay for something if it wasn't that good. But I have people that use it. I think Andrew tried it out a little bit too, the Anti program.
Yeah, I tried Anti. I actually grabbed the silver version that had I know that like you have to basically pay for certain features on free spaces on accounting purposes. It's the same thing. You can't really get it on the market. You have to download it from the site. I never got around to using it. Like all the keyboard features, once you get the silver account, which is like $10, I think, you can use it as much as you want. And then like everything else, what do you call it? Like after reports. Oh yeah. That means that like it'll print reports for vulnerabilities for that. Those forms, certain types of accounts. But I had Samsung when we're doing credit, so I never actually think.
Yeah, I played a little bit with it, and again, being the cheap ass I am, I didn't want to buy into it. It's just, I mean, most of the stuff, but it's painful doing shit on a phone. Any type of phone, just typing anything out, and the screen being so small. It's just, if I was gonna really dive into something. But again, if you're sitting somewhere, you're sitting at the movie theater, or you're waiting at the airport for somebody, and all you have is your phone. Again, it's something to dick around with and play with and screw with people. I don't know. I'm not aware of any iPhone stuff because I hate Apple.
The things that are out there for the iPhone are basically just scanning applications. You can do like general network discovery.
Yeah.
I think they make an NESIT client for the iPhone, but they don't make the full version of the server. And then, other than that, it's just scanning tools, Sage, the applications, that sort of thing. For pen testing, any sort of attack tool, the iPhone store is going to.
I think that probably the best phone would be that Nokia that everybody jumps on. That has the ARM. Yeah, it's got the Nokia S900 or something like that, which basically is like I think it was an ARM processor, and they have the ARM version of Backtrack, and you could really do a shit ton more than you can with just these crappy little tools. I mean, they're fun to screw around with, but it's nothing. Nothing that I'd want to try to sit there for like 3 hours hammering away on my phone trying to figure this stuff out. But again, it's also something to have in your pocket that's always with you. Everybody has their phone all the time. So it's good to have once in a while, I guess. If anybody wants to come up and check them out, see what they entail and all that. I got the teensy up here. I got the keyloggers and everything.